This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made.
Good morning and welcome to All Saints by the Seas Digital Children's Chapel. I'm Reverend Amy, and while I miss being able to be with you all in person, I'm so glad that we can be together in this digital format. If you are able, I ask you to find a candle in your house and have a grown-up who's with you help you light the candle as we get started with Children's Chapel. Each week we light the candle as a reminder that God's light is shining in our world, in the dark places, and there's places where we're afraid, and there's places where we're sad, and there's places where there's joy and happiness and fun and love. God's light is shining everywhere, and this light is a symbol of God's light. So let's go ahead and light our candle with the grown-ups' help. And now it's time to say our prayers. So why don't you center your hands in front of your heart to help us center ourselves for our prayer. And we'll take in 3 deep breaths, in through our nose and out through our mouth. I like to close my eyes when I do it. So if you'd like to do that, you can as well. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. 1, 2, 3. And now repeat after me. God be in my head and in my thinking. God be in my eyes and in my seeing. God be in my ears and in my hearing. God be in my mouth and in my speaking. God be in my heart and in my loving. Amen. And now we're going to hear the story for today. Today we're going to read a story from the Read Aloud Bible Stories. This volume is volume 5, and it is all about stories of Jesus. Today we're going to read The Foolish Farmer. This is from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verse 16 through 21. So if you want to, with your mommy or your daddy or grandma or grandpa or somebody who's with you, You can go to the Bible and you can look that up and read it directly from the Bible. One day, Jesus told a story. This is what he said. Once upon a time, there was a farmer. He had a big garden. Lots of wheat plants grew in his garden. He had many helpers. They all worked for him. He had a nice house. He had many pennies. Now God gave him his garden, but the farmer didn't think about that. God gave him his helpers, but the farmer didn't think about that. God gave him his pennies, but the farmer didn't think about that. One day he said, "Look at my big garden. Look at all my wheat plants. It is time to cut down the wheat. But where shall I put it? My barns are too little." The farmer thought and thought and thought. He said, "I know, I will tear down my barns. I will build bigger barns. Then I will have room for all my wheat." The farmer was still thinking and said, "And then I will not work anymore. I will eat, I will drink, I will play every day for a long, long time." But the farmer would not live a long, long time. He didn't think about that. Somebody else would get the things in his barns. He didn't think about that. He had many things, but he was not one of God's friends. He didn't think about that. He was a foolish, foolish farmer. I wonder what your favorite part of this story was. Why don't you take a moment to tell the person who's having Children's Chapel with you right now what your favorite part was. I think that my favorite part was learning that it is better to be God's friend than to have a lot of things, because that friendship will last us forever and ever. Since God is so good to us and such a good friend, let us sing "God is so good," shall we?
The story tells us about how good God is. Let's sing about that together. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. He's so good to me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. He's so good to me.
That was a wonderful story. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm Chaplain Allison, and I'm really glad that you're worshiping with us today. I'm here in my backyard with my chickens and my dog Waffles. So we're going to get ready to have our closing prayer. So let's put our hands in prayer position and have 3 deep breaths in and out to help us get settled in prayer position. That's 1. So let's go another deep breath in and out and in and out. Okay. Help me, Lord, to love you more than I've ever loved before. In my work and in my play, God be with me through the day. Amen. And now it's time to change the light. Remember, we light the candle to represent God's light here with us. And when we blow the candle out, it doesn't mean that God's light and God's love go away. It means that it goes everywhere, and it's inside of us also. So let's watch the light as it goes. There it goes. It's moving everywhere. So, thank you for worshiping all of us here today. And now let's sing a song.
The candle reminds us that God's light is always within us, and we can let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine.